Thanks for staying with News 3 Now. Republican and Democratic leaders in Wisconsin finally seem to agree on masks and social distancing, but they're on opposite sides on how to actually make it happen. The GOP counting on personal responsibility, but Dane County's executive considers that wishful thinking. Amy Reed live downtown to explain what he wants to see. Amy?
There's been no new legislation or rules to come out of that building in months, while Republicans who lead the legislature say they want people following public health guidelines. Our numbers now indicate to some that asking is not enough.
We know what works, and that's the tragedy within the tragedy that's occurring right now. People are dying needlessly because state leaders have not put in place mandatory guidelines that are proven to reduce illness and suffering and death.
Dane County Executive Joe Parisi wants to see the state take on his county's approach for 30 days. Mandatory masks in most places, capacity restrictions, and public gathering limits.
Asking people to voluntarily adhere to guidelines has not worked. All you have to do is look at the condition our state is in today.
Even as we break records daily and add 100,000 cases to our total in 2.5 weeks, voluntary compliance and personal responsibility is still the legislature's approach. In a letter to his district, Assembly Speaker Robin Vos encourages people to follow the guidelines of wearing a mask, socially distancing, and staying home as much as possible. His office didn't respond when we asked today to explain why he thinks this is the best way, and neither did the majority leader-elect in the Senate. Even new orders from the governor only encourage people to follow the advice that's been out for months. Parisi said a lack of orders in surrounding counties makes it harder on his, but beyond that, he said action could save lives.
If there were ever a time this community and this state needed to come together, it's now.
There's been no indication legislators are going to change their approach to the pandemic, but a new session does start in a few months. Until then, doctors and health professionals aren't changing their advice. Wear a mask, wash your hands, keep your distance, and stay home as much as possible.
Amy.